All right, here we go. Last cyclocross race of the Dirt Pile Series, brought to you by Sintown at New Belgium Brewery for 2024. Also a decent preview of the 2024 Cross of the North course. You can see here we're going down the start straight. Straight goes a lot longer than last year and leads into a much more smooth right-hand churn, which leads into a little bit of a bowl section here, but a lot of room to pass, very wide open, and they even graded it this year, so a lot of the bumps are out of the course in this section compared to previous years. All right, here we go. This is kind of a fun little single tracky section, still wide course, but one good line, lots of ups and downs right here just to give a little technical aspect to it. You can see the guys in front of me I'm trying to keep up with, but I'm punching way above my weight right now. Another really wide open, really nicely graded right-hand corner. Leads all the way around into kind of the next section of whoops. I really like this addition this year. You can really pedal through most of this. We actually got moisture last night right before the race, and so there was still a little tackiness left. As I look out my window, it's kind of drizzling outside here in Fort Collins, so we may get lucky, and there may be some moisture in the course still this weekend. These are my teammates, Matt and Josh, in front of me. Way faster than I am, but I'm doing everything I can to keep up with them. Won't last very long, but it's fun while it lasts. All right, we're exiting that section of the course as we call it Dogtown. Now we're going into some really fun high-speed berms here. Challenges to stay off the brakes and pedal through as much of this as you can. Try to have a lot of exit speed. Really fun section of the course. Nice hard post right there in case it gets tattooed by people going through there a little too aggressively, which always happens every year. This little 90-degree right-hand turn is really smooth, lots of penalty. Got to cross this little service road right here. There is a little bit of loose gravel, so just be a careful crossing right here, and leads into this 180-degree turn, which I have not figured out how to do. It's really loose there on the outside. You can see Josh took a far outside line, Matt took the inside line, and they both exited about the same. I exited much slower. Now comes this guy. He's got somewhere to be, so he's leaving me in the dust. Kind of the first trip up the pile right now. Very rideable, a little loose at the top, but nice to be able to pedal all the way through the corner. Leads down in this downhill, which gets into some single tracky sections, which are really fun. Another good key here is just to try to pedal through these corners as much as you can. Get some good exit speed. We were going straight into the sun at times last night, so apologies for that. Coming up on our first kind of forced dismount, at least unless you're really daring and want to try to ride up the stairs, which I'm not sure anybody will. But our first dismount here up these permanent stairs that were added to the venue, I believe, 2 years ago as a wonderful addition. Now we're on top of the pile and getting ready to take the first drop off the pile. Really high speed. As long as it's not too slick or too loose or too muddy, this is pretty much a no brakes, let it roll. You can see that Josh clearly let it roll better than I did, so he opened up a little bit of a gap. Now we're heading off to the northwest corner of the pile where we'll kind of go off the side of it. I haven't mastered this little 180 right here. You got to scrub a lot of speed coming into this little turn, and you try to pedal around it, but I always seem to be pointed the wrong direction, but not too terrible this time. A little punchy, 2 or 3 hard pedal strokes to get up here and then onto this off camber, which kind of rides the southwest corner of the pile. One good line through here, a little loose in the corner, but other words, pretty good. Okay, now we're setting up for the second dismount. Loop around here into these cottonwoods, come up upon these railroad tie run-ups. This is a shoulder for me, mostly because this is so steep. I'm worried if you suitcase carry, you're going to jam your front wheel right into the slope itself. Plenty width, easy to get 2 or 3 people through there, but the first lap could be kind of interesting. Now we're on top of the pile again and doing a little bit of a turn here. I actually don't know what this is going to look like exactly on race day. They may do some changes here. This was for the Tuesday night race series, so could be that they add some new things here. As always, the top of this pile feels like you should be able to go a lot faster, but it's really loose, and trying to get on top of your gear is pretty hard, at least for me. Drop off again, this is the northwest corner of the pile. This was really loose when they first put this in, but it's burned in really nice. One little tricky section right here, right about here, is this actually sand. Last night it was no problem because we had some moisture and had consolidated quite a bit, but first couple of weeks, if you took that at the wrong angle or had your front wheel pointed the wrong direction, you had to be really careful. Now we're getting ready to enter what we call the orchard, which is actually where some fruit trees are. I really like what they've done through the course here this year. Rather than just constant turning, it kind of goes back and forth, so you get a chance to get into some speed a little bit and then really try to carry some speed out of these corners. One little chicane here coming up, just to get straightened out again, and then really fun section right here, kind of ride this slope into a berm, make a kind of downhill right-hand corner turn, and then try to pick up speed again, because the rest of this for, I'd say, the next 10 or 15 seconds is very pedally. So you can really get on top of things right here and try to make up some ground. It does get a little choppy through here. There's some tree roots that are kind of hidden under the leaves, and a little bit of that Colorado buffalo grass that makes it a little choppy, but certainly better than I've seen in the past. This corner right here coming up, this left-hander right here, almost got me in the first lap. I thought I had this dialed in pre-ride and tried to carry a little too much speed and had to put a foot out to kind of make it around there. This is where the course on race day will actually go off to the left. Maybe you can see some of the other posts, but for the Tuesday night series, we kind of turn here and head back. On Saturday and Sunday, what we'll end up doing is going a little bit farther west and go into the employee parking lot where the finish line actually is. For those who don't know, our start line and finish line are actually two separate things. So what you saw at the start of the race is not where the race finishes, but most of us have done this enough times now that everybody knows how to find their way around. This is a real fun section. A lot of spectators here, usually on the weekends, as we come ripping through the parking lot. This hill right here has a really nice couple of wide lines to go on. I've been choosing this inside line because I think it sets you up a little bit better for this corner right here. Now right here on Tuesday nights, we ended up going through the trees. My guess is on the weekend, this is where you're going to go through the volleyball pit for that really long sand pit. So we'll see what they come up with for the weekend, but generally speaking, that's probably what they're going to do. This was a really fun variation, though, for Tuesday nights, kind of riding through this single track section, kind of mountain bikey a little bit in spots. Definitely rideable on a cross bike, but could have been a little bit more fun on a mountain bike with a few wider tires. A little up and down, a couple of punchy pedal strokes right here. And then over to what is probably my second favorite part of the course, which is these berms right here and the last trip up the pile in the lap. So I got this corner bermed out really nice, carry some speed through here. I have to gear down quite a bit to get up this little punchy hill. I took a pretty poor line here on the first lap and ended way too far to the right, but I was able to keep my feet in. You can see my shadow there to prove it. And then this really fun berm section here as you go into the fat tire sign. Pretty iconic place for a lot of photographers. Try to carry as much speed. Drop in, and then I do everything I can to keep both my tires on the ground. And one last little whoop. And there we go. That's the end of the lap. Right here. It'll be a little bit longer on the weekends, but this was a pretty good preview of what it's going to look like for the most part. Really hope to see everybody out this weekend. New Belgium Brewery, November 2nd and 3rd. And here's some details on where you can go to find out more information. Thanks.